Falsifiability. Great science is defined by extreme attempts to falsify it, which failed. Great prophets, or saints, are defined by extreme attempts to annihilate them, which failed. In fact, the story of Christ's death and resurrection is just the most purely distilled possible form of making this statement. In embodied form, remember, religion is an embodied science. Absolute truth is defined by the most absolute attempt to falsify it, which absolutely fails. Observations are enshrined into physical laws only after many repeated failed attempts at falsification. Spiritual insight is enshrined into religious dogma only after many repeated failed attempts at annihilation. Which is why the Bible, and Old Testament in particular, in my view, was produced by the people of Israel. They probably survived more attempts at annihilation over a longer period of time than any other people in history. Both science and religion are empirical observation-based endeavors, notwithstanding what some people might say. Prophets or saints invariably braved personal hardship. Their life lessons were tested with extreme pressure on their own body and mind, and when they prevailed and passed on their message or were proven right in the face of impossible odds, that was extremely convincing evidence that their message contained truth. You're constantly being told that religion is static, dogmatic, and closed-minded, while science is dynamic and evolves. But this is only because of the different timescales involved. In the realm of human experience, which is inherently biological, you need at least a few generations, and sometimes many generations, to say something has been validated with a high degree of confidence. Like, let's take the concept of private property, for example. That's the 8th commandment, right? Thou shalt not steal. It probably took thousands of years of accumulated experience to discover, and has been tested recently in communism successfully, meaning that private property remains a law of human nature. In science, this can happen within a single lifetime, if many scientists are involved in testing some hypothesis in different ways, and the costs are many, many orders of magnitude lower. But because religion is embodied, which means actual people live inside of it, the stakes are a lot higher. A religious experiment can be way more destructive if it fails than a scientific experiment. So people tend to be a lot more reluctant to be part of these. Except for the followers of Pastafarianism. Those guys seem totally cool with experimenting. But yeah, other than that, people tend to stick with what they know. Anyway, this creates the illusion that religions are static, which is not true. Christianity has the synods or councils and the saints. Major saints are usually such a big deal precisely because they update the information in some major way. As a direct consequence of this empirically falsifiable core, both science and religion are fundamentally against ideology.